Leading things off, our first guests, they join us from the Mercy College Graduate School of Business for a look at the school's Strategic Business Institute and other things. We had them before. They're no stranger to the show. Their Turbo program is big also. We'll find out more about that. We welcome the chair, Dean of Strategic Institute, Ray Manganelli.
Manganelli.
Yeah, Manganelli. All right. And facility member John Power and Manuel Ron. We welcome you guys to the show.
Thank you.
Mr. Manganelli, sorry for tearing that up on the end there, but
not a problem.
we've had you on a couple of times before.
Right.
And when we had you on before, you were mentioning some of the other wonderful things that you were working on with the programs that you have.
This all ties in.
Yes.
This all ties in. And thank you, Bob. We're delighted to be here today with you. I have with me two, as you mentioned, two other faculty members of the part of the Strategic Consulting Institute that we have. Mm-hmm. And we want to talk about an assignment, a project that we just completed for Westchester County, where we help them in a targeted area in economic development.
Yes.
But let me give you a little background. 5 years ago, we started a consulting institute as part of the Graduate School of Business program. Mm-hmm. And it was a real consulting firm. The idea was to give students an opportunity while they were getting their MBA to actually do real work for CEOs and COOs and CFOs. Our faculty members are CEOs, CFOs, and CEOs. Our model is an executive model to teach.
Yes.
So when they come in, they get to work with these executives, and for the Consulting Institute, they get to do projects for these executives.
Yes.
We have about 100 students, between 100 and 200 students who have done work with us over the last 5 years. We have about 20 faculty members that have done work on these projects. And we look for projects including growth, economic development, which is what we worked on for Westchester County, and other kinds of projects that will help the community. And we're looking, as my associates will talk about, we're looking for the opportunity to work for people in the Bronx.
Ah, okay. So you do most of your work in Westchester County, but you're going to come down into the Bronx.
We've done work in Westchester County, in Manhattan, and in Long Island, but we very much would like to work in the Bronx.
Economic development.
Yeah, so the project that we did for Westchester County was some supplementary work to work that they were already doing in looking at a number of avenues. The team that I led was focused on incubators and accelerators, so an innovation economy, if you will, and how Westchester might tap into that. So we looked at a number of different things, across demographics, around income, around education levels, availability of capital. So the students got a good overview of what it might take for Westchester County, and we were able to help Westchester County kind of zero in on some of the things that they were already looking at, and we supplemented their work. But I think it makes sense to explain the difference between what an incubator is and what an accelerator is. And so entrepreneurial activity, when you're first starting out, you're looking for some help, right? So incubators and accelerators are ways of helping that. Mm-hmm. So an incubator is really, it's a place where you can go to, you can work with other people that are starting businesses. There's a creativity, there's some cross-pollination of talent. So it's a place to go where you incubate, you foster that growth of a company, and you can test your concepts and prove out your business. Once your business is proven, you then can potentially go into an accelerator, which is a more structured format where you go in with a group of other companies. It's a cohort program. It's very structured in the way of we fix some of the common problems for everybody, and we allow them to grow. So students got exposed to those two types of things. If anybody's interested in starting a business here in the Bronx, just by way of, we have an incubator here on our Bronx campus. You can come by and see it.
And students can make a lot of money.
Well, students can potentially make a lot of money. They see these types of activities and see these types of business ideas that they can potentially leverage for businesses of their own in the future.
A lot of businesses have started right in colleges and
Right,
universities.
and the SCI would be a great place for some of those businesses here in the Bronx to maybe get some help, whether they're looking at their markets, understanding their marketplace, understanding the cost of doing what they're trying to do, try to build a business plan so that they can go out and raise capital. Those are the types of things that our students, through the SCI and under the leadership of some faculty members, can really help those companies move to the next level.
And there's more. We got the 1, 2, 3 punch.
Thank you. Well, let me just sort of interject right now about what we try to do for the students. We have the in-class and we have the in-the-field experiences. And the SCI is a great in-the-field experience. And we tied those two together through our focus on what we look at as a very fundamental foundational framework, which involves, number one, at the base level, the substance, like accounting and finance and marketing and data analytics. And we tie that in with the critical thinking that is necessary to go from sort of stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3, really to see what the obvious is and to see what, frankly, other people don't see.
Yeah.
We also focus that on our students' ability to communicate, not just with their subordinates, but as importantly, with their peers and with their superiors. And we tie all of that stuff up to help students get into a leadership position, to basically get other people to see what they see. And in the field, the SCI is an excellent training ground and example for this because, for example, with my project with the Office of Economic Development for Westchester County, my group analyzed the 5 cities. And the students, while get guidance from us, they took this on as themselves, and they had to use the substance. They had to use their financial, they had to use their research, they had to use their research abilities, they had to use their marketing abilities. They also had to use their critical thinking because analyzing is not enough. Right. The next step is, how do we get more people to move into Westchester County, particularly these 5 cities? And so that was the creative part of the sort of the dual analytical and creative components of critical thinking. And within the group, we had people stepping up as leaders, and we had other people stepping up as leaders for their area of expertise. We communicated our findings and our recommendation to the Office of Economic Development, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, this is great. How did you guys come up with this?
About 5 years ago, in 2013, we were trying to do some new things for the MBA program that would separate it, and that were not being done anywhere else in the United States. So this was one of the Turbo program you mentioned earlier,
Yes.
of an accelerated program, 1 year, nights and weekends, and you get your MBA. We did it at that time. The SCI, we started at that time. We have now, in terms of the total of graduate students in business, are up to about 600. It was about 100 and change back then. So we did this to give people in the New York area opportunities that they couldn't get anywhere else in the country.
And now the Consulting Institute.
And the Consulting Institute was really, many of them use that when they're interviewing for jobs afterwards to talk about, it's the only job for many of them that they were paid for what they think and what they know, as opposed to their time, which is usually at that age what you're doing.
Exactly.
So we've had enormous amounts of success. I'm very fortunate that we have the caliber of faculty that we do, because you can't do this with a regular faculty. You have to have a faculty that's been CFO, Chief Financial Officer, Chief Executive Officer, Chief Operating Officer. These guys are that, and so is everyone else who works with the SCI.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I mean, they get involved in an educational process where you have CFOs and the guys who are at the top of their game in the business. I want to be around them.
Well, if you think about it, what Ray was speaking about before, the fact that we have an executive-based program, right? The SCI really is a way to bring that to life in a practical environment where they're actually doing something, exposed to it, and exposed to it not just from the faculty members that are executives, but in every case, the client, the students are interacting with the executives, whether it's a government organization, whether a mayor or the head of the Office of Economic Development, in the case of Westchester County, or the CEOs of companies or chief investment officers, chief innovation officers. So they're dealing with executives not only from the people that are guiding them, but the people that they're interacting with. It's a real differentiator as somebody's coming out of school that they can talk about it as a way to enhance the conduit into the job market.
That's a huge point, to the point that some of these people in their entire career will not work with the people that they work with at the SCI.
Yeah.
At IBM, we were 2 steps down from the CEO. We worked for a person who reported directly to the CEO. In the county, we are 1 step away from the county executive. So oftentimes the presentation is made for people who are really high up in the organization, and it gives them confidence, it gives them poise, and plus the critical thinking skills that Lito talked about is a big thing.
Yeah, so this is the place to come to if you want to become an entrepreneur.
Right.
You want to be around people like this. You want to learn from the best.
And you have people, John is a serial entrepreneur, has started and been a CFO for many companies. Lito as well. He has also got a law degree. So we have people who understand the law, understand starting businesses, funding businesses, and so on. That's why I said we'd love to do things in the Bronx for people in the Bronx.
Excellent.
Maybe we'll get you into a classroom, Bob.
Well, I would love it.
Just be prepared.
That's right. Prepare before you get there. I have a
Exactly.
speech that I go around, I talk about that. Any success stories? Anybody come in that you taught when you first started 5 years ago?
Well, we have one person who she came out of the program, had gone to she was from Europe, came into the program, and she beat out a number of people, a huge job at Credit Suisse. And that job paid about $150,000 a year to start. And she beat out people from Wharton, from MIT, and from University of Chicago.
Oh, excellent. Wow.
And it was because when we asked them why they selected her, they said that she could hit the ground immediately and start to work.
Yeah.
So very, very much prepared, practical things, but having worked in this kind of environment.
Companies love that. You come in and hit the ground running.
Right.
Yeah. Any last words? They're wrapping me up over there.
I'm good.
You're good?
No, it was a pleasure. Thank you. And like I said, hopefully we see you in a classroom one of these
Yeah, I
days.
would love to. I would come in and interview you guys too. And let more people know about it.
People want to contact us, they simply call the school and ask for graduate business.
There you go. Give them a big round of applause, everybody. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Graduate
Thank you.
School of Business at Mercy College. You got to get involved. God gave you 2 feet. Put 1 foot in front of the other and step to what you need to do. Take care of your business. Right here at Mercy College. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more next, right here on Open.